My mother has been making wonderful stuffed cabbage for many, many years, as long as I can remember. And my grandmother often made her Polish version of stuffed cabbage, too. We call it Golumpki. And I loved helping her stuff all those bright green cabbage leaves with delicious combination of rice and meat. Every single Polish family has a favorite recipe, a favorite version of this national dish. And Mom's going to show us how she prepares the cabbage. Oh, that's a pretty dirty cabbage, isn't it?
We'll have to wash it.
Yeah, let me wash that.
Let me just get this big core. We start by taking some of the core out so the leaves get, you can separate the leaves better.
You can use either the hard green cabbage like this, or you can use a Savoy cabbage, which is really pretty.
There we go.
Okay.
And then I usually made the slits at the top of the leaves here around the core so that the leaves would separate. Okay.
You sound like you have a cold.
Yeah, a little bit of a one.
Oh, you're not supposed to get colds this winter.
Not before Christmas, but...
No, don't get sick before Christmas. I'll take off the dirty leaves. So wash your cabbage and then have a pot of water that's really boiling away there. And you're going to really steam it, isn't that true?
Yes, you cook it until you can tenderize the leaves somewhat so that you can roll the filling in them.
Okay, so here.
Yeah, that's good.
And these are good. These big leaves are beautiful for lining the pot because you always want to have a cabbage leaf between the rolled cabbage and the pot itself. Okay, that's good. And I'll just put these in here to steam, too.
Steam.
So why don't we start the filling, too, Mom, while that's cooking. I'll watch the cabbage for you if you'd like to tell how you make your filling.
All right. Well, for this particular batch, I'm using half a pound of pork, ground pork, and half a pound of ground beef. And to that, we add like 2 cups of rice that's somewhat undercooked. We're stirring to combine.
And what's in the pan here?
Onion. We're going to put the onion, sautéed onion with a little garlic.
Okay.
We'll put
And butter?
I think we used a little butter, maybe some oil too.
See, the cabbage turns a beautiful color really fast.
Now, I always added a little finely chopped.
Oh, and you don't saute that?
No.
The celery? Oh.
Because it gets cooked in the... and a little bit of sautéed pepper, green pepper. You can use an electric mixer for mixing this too. Okay.
Oh, for mixing that?
Mm-hmm. Now this is kosher salt.
About how much? A teaspoon?
A little bit more, maybe. And some black pepper.
Freshly ground.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to be making for Christmas Eve this year? Are you going to make us some pierogi?
Well, if I have time and the...
Are you making stollen?
Do you want me to make you a stone?
Or babka or poppy seed cake?
I could make a stone. I usually do it stolen for
It used to
Christmas.
just automatically come, but now it has to be begged for, unfortunately. Now, what about some of the, what is this?
Parsley.
Oh, great. Now, this is dried parsley. All of it, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, what, a couple tablespoons?
Oh, it won't hurt at all.
It smells delicious. So here, the cabbage, the outer leaves are just about ready to come off. Now, one reason that cabbage is so nice is that it's really kind of good for you. It's rich in vitamin A and C, and it also contains anti-carcinogens. Isn't that pretty? You taught me how to do this. Peel off the leaves, right?
That's right.
Until they stop peeling off, and then you put it back in the water again. Some of these are gigantic. Oh, big. Oof. Very
Well, I
hot.
think this is mixed sufficiently.
So I'm going to put this back in. So why don't you show how you take the hard vein off?
In order to facilitate the wrapping, I just cut some of this thick part off.
And you don't want that big, heavy vein in there anyway, do you?
Now, the bigger the leaf, the more filling it would hold. So you fold down the end, and then you fold in the ends like this.
Oh, here's a pretty one.
And you wrap.
So, Mother, should I line the pot so that you can put the Golumpki right in?
Yes, be a good idea.
So these colorful big leaves line the bottom. And I always love to eat these leaves after everything's cooked. I always salt and pepper the leaves. And here.
You figure one per person.
Oh,
so you
never. Whoever eats one. I have to have at least 2 of these.
Well, all right.
These are
So you don't skimp on the filling.
No, not
And
at
if
all.
your cabbage leaf should rip a little bit, you can always
Patch with another
patch
piece.
it.
Yeah.
You fit the Golumpkis right across the bottom, make a nice layer.
Okay, here. Should I devein these?
Yeah, some of the smaller leaves.
There, that one's ready. So it's going to make about a dozen plump, kind of large size Golumpki.
If you make them real tiny, then they're like appetizers.
Oh yeah, I love them small too. And then we have these little ones that we've already made. So Mom, I'm going to put these in here too, okay?
Sure.
And you've always made it in kind of an enameled pot, haven't you?
Well, sometimes I use those big aluminum pots that I have. Belong to Grandma. They must be at least 60 years old.
Mother, you are
I make jelly in them.
85 years old. Grandma was 90-something when she died. So how old are the pots?
Oh, the pots? About 100.
They're more like 100 years old. Should I sprinkle the apples in?
Yeah, right over the top.
Now this is a nice Granny Smith or some nice tart green apple. I love apple and cabbage. Now what is this?
That's the cabbage water, but wait, we're going to mix it with the tomato sauce.
Okay, now is this your homemade tomatoes?
Okay.
This is just pureed?
Yeah,
Anything else in there?
just tomato.
Now that'll all sink down.
Yeah.
So should I sprinkle a little bit more salt? Just a little bit.
All
And then you can
right.
cover this with cabbage leaves
Yes,
too.
you could. Because the cabbage is good later on, it gets cooked
so
through
good.
and
How long do you cook it on top of the stove?
up to an hour, and then you test them and see if they're done.
So we'll clean up, and when we come back, we'll show you what the cooked Golumpki look like and taste like. Well, the cabbage has been cooking. It looks really beautiful. Look, Mother, another successful
Now we can do something with the gravy. We can always add a little sour cream to it. So here's a little sour cream. Just put a little bit of the tomato in there.
Okay. That's the enrichment, right?
Gives it a nice little flavor.
I wonder, are these apples soft enough? I guess so. Okay, I'll get that scraped down for you. Yum. That always helps, doesn't it? Okay, so I think
Mix the,
I didn't want to break them with a middle spoon.
no.
So just get them piping hot, and I'm going to try one right now because I cannot wait. Here, I'll take one out. With a little bit of that luscious sauce.
When Grandma put her cream in, or when she thickens a gravy, she would, well, let me show you. She would
Shake it.
do this.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mother, for another one of the Kostyra family recipes.
You're welcome.
In Polish, it's known as Golumpki.
Yes.
And elsewhere in the world as stuffed cabbage. Try it, you'll really enjoy it, and it's very good.